Welcome to Elimination Chamber 2023, baby. Let's make this clear. I'm going to say this now. If you haven't seen it, you could watch it. It was a pretty good show. Both eliminators were not bad. Admittedly, some of it seemed like it could have been done on Raw, one of the matches. But generally speaking, the 5 matches are all good. But I got to say this from my own experience, not taking anything away from the show. I had technical difficulties on my side watching the stream. Last match, the stream audio was dropping, and then the stream just started to drop. It was very strange. Now, I know what happened on SmackDown, that they literally, for JD, the stream kept dropping due to the fact that they were cursing, and they were cursing on this show. But this is a pay-per-view, and the last match where they were really loud, obnoxious, and cursing, I don't know about anyone else. Maybe I'm the only one. But my stream started dropping a lot. It started glitching out. The audio started going out of sync with the video and then just started glitching, flashing on and off. And I literally had no choice but to go to one of the other sites to try and see if anything was going on that I could see. And legitimately, they were no better. I don't know about anyone else, but I think something was going wrong with the quality there. Maybe JD had a better time. Maybe just Alex did. I hope they did. But for me, and I will give my review on it because I did go to some of the other sites that when the show is over, they do record. I went to those sites, waited a little bit because this is being uploaded quite late. Later than what everyone else is doing because they're already talking about it. But to see what happened with Jay and what happened with Sami and Roman, I didn't get a chance to see it because the stream either audio glitched out, video glitched out, or there was just black screen on and off. So for me, I had to do that. So let's get to the opening of Elimination Chamber's Women Elimination Chamber. We got Raquel, we got Asuka, we got Mella, we got Nikki, and we got the Liv Morgan. Who were the ones who looked the best there? Liv looked like a beast. And she had to be literally eliminated by 2 women. And that was Asuka and Mella. I believe it was Asuka and Mella that eliminated. Let me make sure. It was Natalya and Asuka that literally put her in submissions and she passed the fuck out. That was beautiful for Liv Morgan. Now, does this mean she's going to get anything in WrestleMania? I don't know. But she looked the most beastly there next to Kata-chan, Asuka. Asuka was the second best there, easily. But the only reason she was second best wasn't because of her performance, it's because we knew she had to be the one to go to WrestleMania. And then there was the dark horse, Carmella. Carmella was at the end of that mess. Carmella was the one that had to be tapped out. And I do believe I have a shot of her being tied up like a pretzel and those boobies. Look, Carmella in real life must be the most sweetest person, particularly after what happened to her and miscarrying. I know it had not been easy for her. And admittedly, if she had come back months ahead of time, more than a few months, and had been built properly, if she went to WrestleMania, I wouldn't have had too much of a problem. The woman had gone through something very traumatic. And she's always been known, yes, not everyone likes her, that she improved her work and improved her style of how she spoke, how she looked, and she had improved. So if she had been back maybe 4 or 5 months, 3 or 4 months earlier, easily 4 months, and built into this, if Asuka didn't come back, I wouldn't have had a problem, particularly if she was a face. But I knew there was a possibility if Vince was involved in this, she might become the dark horse that could win it. And I really did worry. Not that I believed she would win it, even though I was worried that she could win it because of how Vince has been influenced. And we know that Vince is influencing Triple H in the show. We know it. But I did believe, just like everybody else, Asuka had to be the one to do it because the Kata-chan persona is so good. This is how she was in Japan. This is what the division needed. So if Mela didn't win, it had to be Asuka. That's the reason why she was the second strongest there. But I will say this about Carmella. Did she do bad? No. Her running around getting into the pods after she got out was the type of style that Carmella would do. She would do whatever she needs to win. Her work in the ring, even though it's been a while since she's been in the ring, she has ring rust, was not 100% bad. Anyone else, they'll say, I'm glad she ain't doing, she's nothing but crap. I'm not going there with Carmella. I've seen her improve over the years. She has worked on her style. She has worked on a stick. And I give it to her. But the best person there was Liv Morgan. She looked the most beastly. But it doesn't mean they're going to do much with her, counting on, maybe they will, but I didn't expect her to win here. But she looked the best. Next, the match I was not sure what was going to happen. Particularly, there was no Bray Wyatt. And the Howdy didn't show up. Neither one showed up from what I saw. I didn't see anything. Admittedly, like I said, the stream really was dropping at the end of the show. But there were a couple of times that happened to Brock and Bobby Lashley. This was not a bad match. But here's the thing. You have Brock Lesnar come back. And he lost to Bobby before. But now, he gets into the Hurt Lock. He can't break it. He gives Bobby a nut shot. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the shot, the picture. But he gives him a nut shot. He gets DQ'd. And then he destroys Bobby with 2 more F5 because he does 2 F5s to him at first. Bobby does 3 spears and a Hurt Lock. He tries to get it on twice, but the second, no. I think he did it, he attempted 2 times, but the third time he finally got it. I think it was about 2 times he tried. The third time he tried, he finally got it. But he gets nut-shotted by a Brock. Brock gets disqualified. He F5s the ref the first time in the ring. Then he grabs Lashley. He F5s him a third time in the ring. He throws him outside the ring. He grabs him, cleans off the table, and he F5s him into the table. And then he grabs the ref, and he F5s the ref outside as well. He F5s everybody. I kind of wish he had shoved the cameraman. I really do. I really wish he had shoved the cameraman. That would have made it even more apparent that he doesn't give a damn. But that's just me. Does this mean that feud is over? No. But I'm going to say this honestly. This should have happened a couple of years ago at WrestleMania. Now, mind you, I'm not against Bobby Lashley getting put over by Brock Lesnar at a WrestleMania match. I think that is what is needed. Because Brock got put over by The Undertaker, you definitely need Brock Lesnar putting over someone because that mark needs to be put over by somebody. And I think it's going to be Bobby. Now, do I believe it's going to come out right? I don't know. I'm hoping. But this is just me. Now, the match that I feel that could have been left on Raw, and that's Edge and Beth versus Finn and Mommy, whose boobies look like they want to just pop out of her top, and you want to just look at them and say, hello, grabby, grabby, and that is Rhea Ripley. And don't get me wrong, I'm not being disrespectful to Rhea. I actually love Rhea Ripley. She worked on her stick. She worked on her ring work. She is so over. There is no... That girl's over as stink. There's nothing I can say to be disrespectful. I'm just saying those titties look like they want to just pop out of her top. Because they just look like they want to. And then, what did we get through that match? We get Dom getting chased off by Edge once he comes back. We get brass knucks used near the ending of the match. We get Beth Phoenix finally versus someone of the modern age for women, and that is Rhea. But do I believe that's going to really help Rhea Ripley? Even though it looked great when you see that once Finn was pretty much power bombed and Edge. And that was a very good thing. Seeing both of them powerbomb them was actually quite good because you can see that Rhea has someone on par with her in power. Next to a Bianca Belair, there are very few women who is like this, that are not as big as a Raquel Rodriguez. That Raquel is right here. But you got Beth and Rhea who are here, and a Bianca. All three of these women are not as tall or as big as Raquel. And you need to know there are really power women in that division, and now you can see two of them. Do I believe there could be a WrestleMania match out of this? There could be. I'm not saying there should be, but there could be. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be. If they build in the next couple of weeks to about a month, well, the next month, if you build them, it might work. I'm not saying everyone's going to want to watch it, but I do believe the mommy needs to be put over, and I do believe Beth wouldn't get hurt if she did it at WrestleMania. I'm just saying, let's move on. The men's Elimination Chamber match. There were two people who looked the best. Bronson Reed looked like a damn beast. Total, unadulterated beast. The second person looked the best was Johnny Gargano. Now, I know people want to say, what about Montez Ford? And I'm not going to get to him in a minute, and particularly where he might be hurt. But it was those two who looked the best. Now, the ones who started, and I didn't say this for the women, the ones who started the match was Natalya and Liv Morgan. They started the match, and it was really good. And I can tell you, if you don't think Liv has not improved herself, she has. Because when she worked with Natalya, and I do have something to say about Natalya. Guys, before I get to the men, have you noticed something strange about Natalya Neidhart? I don't know if I got a picture of her close up, but I put it up on my face. I don't know if I got it, but tell me, doesn't her face now look a lot like Dana Brooks? And how the cheeks and lips look? Guys, tell me below if you noticed, like I did, that Natalya now has a face that looks very similar to a Dana Brooke. And it's not because she's older. Tell me, do you think she did Botox? Because you look at Dana Brooks, she does not look the same as she did years ago. Now, it's not just because she's in her 30s now. You could see that her face doesn't look the same. It looks like she's had Botox in her lips and her cheeks. So tell me, does this look the same with Natalya? I'm putting it to you. But the match was really good. Look, when you see Bronson Reed, it took 4 guys to get him out. So he looked good. Johnny Gargano looked very good. Now, Montez Ford. Let's make this clear. He went far beyond what most guys would do. Only a few have done it. There's only been 2 other than himself. And that is John Morrison and that is Kofi Kingston. They're the only 2 have gone as far as he. Now, the one who had been on very top of the, I believe, on top of the Elimination Chamber like that was John Morrison. He's the first one that did it. Then Kofi did it. And now a Montez Ford did it. He went and twisted himself up and decided to do like he was jumping out of a plane, ready to skydive, and he landed on everybody. I was actually worried that he might have hurt somebody. Johnny Gargano, who basically was up on one of the pods with a Seth Rollins. I don't believe I got a shot of them doing the move, but I do believe I got a shot of Seth Rollins in him. But simply seeing a Hurricane Rana to a Seth Rollins by Johnny Gargano, and it was supposedly a Damian Priest was supposed to catch him, but he didn't catch him enough, and he landed hard on his face. That was not something I was fond of. Oh, I was actually worried that he might have hurt himself or might have damaged the bones in his face. But the one who literally might have been actually hurt was Montez Ford. Now, because I wanted to see what happened at the last part of the match, because there was so much glitching, I did relook at the last part of Montez Ford and the last moment he had with, who was it? It was Austin Fury. Because he was supposed to do a splash on him. He got his knees up. Now, I thought initially that he might have hit his head when Austin had put his knees up, and he might have driven his head into the ring. But it looked like the stomp might have got him, and I may have a shot of the stomp. It's going to be a distant shot, but I'm going to zoom it in if I do believe I got it. But guys, after that was done, they had to go in and pull him out. He was not moving right, even though they had to continue the match, and that was Seth and Austin. You could tell he might have gotten concussed. I think he got concussed. I think legitimately he got concussed because when they tried to bring him out, next to him limping on his right leg, because it looked like he didn't have any function in his right leg, he literally tripped and started falling down the steps. He was messed up. Hopefully he's all right. Maybe he's just concussed and he didn't mess up his neck. And it could be that. But I was like, oh man, that is bad. When you go into that chamber, it is very dangerous, guys. If you think they're joking around in there, next to him getting to the top of that damn cage, flipping himself over because he was holding himself, he flipped himself over like this and released, and like he was skydiving, landed on top of everybody. That move could have been it. I'm just hoping he's okay. A lot of people thought maybe he should win the U.S. Championship. And it was good to see the Elimination Chamber was for this, but it makes you worry. Finally, and this is the Roman and Sami match. Now, I just done this 4 times because I went on a tangent and messed up multiple times. I had to refilm this part. But here we go. Roman and Sami, 4 to 5 minutes before they touched. Roman, it was exactly the way I thought it was going to go. Roman facing Sami, they kind of were even, but Roman smacked him down, kind of like this for a little while, and Sami had to work his way up. Roman was like this, and eventually they would switch places on and off. Sami would get over, then Roman, Sami. The crowd was rabid. That was one of the best things I enjoyed about this. One of the things I really did enjoy that I didn't say in the other videos was his wife was eventually included in this. About Roman going to his wife because she was at ringside. I do believe I got a shot of it. It's in my face. And pretty much she is told this is his fault. And she said, he loved you. Literally. She said, this is wrong. He loved you. That was a good thing to add into that because we didn't see Sami's family side of this. But as it went on, and unfortunately, as I've said in the previous part of the video where the stream kept glitching out for me. And I had to eventually check out the other sites, which were also having the same problem. I didn't see absolutely everything that was going on, but I did see at least enough stills because the stream was just going. That's how bad it got. But I did see enough to know that it was so well over. The fans were going, they were, fuck you, Roman. We hate Roman. Everything, well, they didn't say we hate Roman. They said, fuck you, Roman. But literally, they hated Roman. It was so good. Eventually, 2 things happened. 1, the ref get nailed once. And when that happened, Jimmy showed up. And that means, I was like, good, Jimmy showed up. That means the DWI is no longer an issue anymore. And I'm hoping that both Jimmy and Jay, because Jay was there, we know this, that they will stay clean. Please. I'm getting sick of seeing them get. This is where I get the tangent. Stop. This is where the tangent started on the last couple of videos. But Jimmy nailed a Sami twice. And then he also, I think he kicked him at least once or twice. And then he splashed him. Ref comes in. Sami didn't give in. Good. They kept going for another at least 3 or 4 minutes before the ref get nailed again. And that is when the wise man was asked, well, not asked, but told by the tribal chief, get a chair. He gets a chair, gets it, getting ready to hit him, but then as he turns to be able to hit Sami, Jay is there finally. I think he's in my face. I think I got a shot of him. Jay shows up in the ring. He is looking at him like he wants to burn a hole through him. But then he looks at Sami, and he doesn't change his expression. So we still don't know which side he's going for. But we did find out eventually. Because when Roman handed him, Roman did exactly the same thing that he did to Sami. He handed him the chair and said, hit him. And as he was standing behind Roman and everyone's wondering, is he going to hit Roman? He doesn't do none of it. He doesn't hit Sami. He doesn't hit Roman. And Roman's looking at him like, hello, do it. and he's pretty much, what's wrong with you? He takes the chair from him, pie-faced him twice, but Jay doesn't hit him. Jay doesn't strike him. He stands there stoic until Sami spears him by accident, because Sami was already scrambled. And as he saw Roman, he thought it was a chance to spear him. He tried to spear Roman. He speared Jay. Jay rolls out of the ring. Then Roman grabs the chair, 6 chair shots. He's finished. Over. And now Roman is still champion. But, and this is where JD and Just Alex got it wrong. They expected Jay to literally help his brother Jimmy or Roman to do the job to take care of Sami, but he does not. He doesn't. He doesn't hurt Sami, but he doesn't hurt Roman either. He's still blank. Completely blank. Now here's where it gets interesting, guys. What did I say? Now, mind you, I don't expect Roman to job now. And I'll be surprised if Roman gets another match before WrestleMania, before he meets Cody Rhodes. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think he's going to job and lose the title now. I would be shocked if Roman loses the title, because a lot of people are going to get mad. They're going to say, dude, that makes no sense. But it would if Jay makes that happen. Not saying it will, but my thought is this. Jay is still not in the bloodline, but I think there's a good possibility he's not helping Roman either. He's not going to help Roman. And my feeling is this, that my original thought about who's the true head of the bloodline may actually get acted out. Now, I'm not saying it will. I'm thinking that because Jay didn't help his brother and he didn't help his cousin, that we may actually get later, probably at WrestleMania, a possible twist in the storyline of the bloodline. Because what would happen if Cody is going against Roman and Roman gets screwed over by Jay? Guys, think about it for a minute. If I may have to leave the connection to my who is head of the table for this video as well, just in case. Even though it'll probably be different than what I came up with. What would happen? Think about it, guys. What would happen if Jey Uso literally screws over Roman? What does that mean? Roman loses the title, but that's not the key here, and that's what's not important. The bloodline is his brother Jimmy, his brother Solo. What does that mean? Is Jay going to make a bid to become the new head of the bloodline? Because as I said in that video from my Gump report, is it possible that another story that can be just as big as Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns could exist? And there is. The entire story that we've been having Roman Reigns is that he changed his mind after he came back from leukemia. After he won the damn title, he changed his persona completely, turned heel, and wanted to create a dynasty, the bloodline. He forced his cousin, his first cousin, Jay, into it. Jimmy followed suit, and Solo followed suit. Eventually, you got a Sami Zayn trying to get into it. This has all been about Roman being the head of the family, being anointed by the members of the family on one Raw. Remember, on one of the Raws, they said he is now the head of the table, the head of the family. But what happened if Jay is going to do a bid for that? Because I acknowledge you. I truly believe. Now, this might not even happen. I don't believe it probably will. But I'm thinking, just in case, what if a new story is going to emerge in the next month that Jay is not going to join the bloodline? Roman is pissed off that he didn't do a damn thing. And every moment, you're going to see Jay, who's going to talk to Solo. He's going to talk to Jimmy. And he's going to be around Sami and Kevin Owens. He may even help Kevin Owens and Sami win the damn titles, because if Jay works with Jimmy, and one of the matches that might happen, maybe before a WrestleMania or at WrestleMania, he doesn't interfere, lets his other brother, his twin, burn, that might be the beginning of a true story of one family where one was so full of himself, he thought that no one else can do his job. He brought in the rest of his relatives, came up to here, was here at the top. Everyone loved him. Everyone couldn't deny how great he was. But he became so full of himself, he messed up his bloodline. And then one of the members, the first member of the bloodline, not Roman, Jay, realizes this is bullshit and they need to straighten this out, and he must become the new head of the bloodline. That is what the story could be next. And I'm not saying it will happen at WrestleMania, but it could happen. If it did, this would be the biggest twist WWE's had in a decade, even more than the bloodline as it stands now. A dissension in the bloodline where one person's trying to bid and try to take it from somebody else. But this is just me. And the show was okay. It was very good, even though I kept having dropped streams and audio problems. But it was good. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it and see if I'm right. Peace.